加油，再往前面走，往前面走，往前面走，再往前面再往前走，往前面再往。
行吧。
加油，再往前面走，加油，再往前面走。
I'm really glad I got this on camera because this is the moment where I realized that I could finally speak Chinese as well as a 5-year-old. Hi, my name is Zachariah Watt. I graduated from Iowa State University in spring 2020 with a bachelor's degree in computer science and a minor in Chinese studies. Now that I'm graduated, I'd like to share some of my thoughts and experiences on what it was like to study Chinese at ISU. I decided to take Chinese when I was in high school. My high school had a lot of Chinese students and I was getting really interested in linguistics at the time. My high school didn't offer any Chinese classes, but I decided that as soon as I got to college, I would start taking Chinese. In all my time at ISU, I never found more dedicated faculty. I never would have succeeded if it weren't for them. Look, language learning is hard, and their creativity and dedication to their students is the reason why our program is the best in the region. Language is the way that people communicate, so in order to elevate your language skills, you have to interact with other people on purpose. The professors are really good at coming up with classroom activities for this, but there are actually a lot of opportunities for this outside of class. In 2017, I participated in the Chinese language performance competition. I also attended Chinese Table, which eventually morphed into the Chinese Language Club. All of this serves to actually elevate your Chinese, and my Chinese did improve.
你叫什么名字？一个人在那室。你快看外面，那栋发光的塔是什么时候出现的？今天来自不同国家的学生们为我们带来了，我觉得就是特别宝贵的机会，是更了解。
Now that being said, of the students at ISU who learned to speak Chinese, mine is definitely one of the worst. We have a lot of students whose Chinese is much better than mine. One of the things that tends to freak people out are Chinese characters.
You want to be fluent in Chinese, you are going to have to memorize about 44,000 subtly different drawings of sheds.
There's a lot of misinformation about what Chinese characters are and how they're written. Chinese characters are not random. Actually, most characters are a combination of this common set of graphical components that are repeated throughout the entire character set. Many characters actually have clues that help you to guess how they're pronounced. Actually, one of the harder things about studying Chinese is the syntax. Sometimes you come across a sentence and you just can't figure out what it means because it's like the word order that you expect, but twisted into a pretzel. Honestly, it did help that I studied the language because of the language itself, because of those difficulties rather than in spite of them. And I would have been just happy to study it at my desk, like Akkadian or something, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. In 2017, I received a scholarship that was set up by the Chinese Studies faculty here at ISU. I spent a full year at a Chinese university in Lanzhou with a small number of other students who were also from ISU. We took classes in Chinese language, culture, and literature. We, of course, also had opportunities to travel, of which we eagerly availed ourselves. One time, the university actually sent us to teach English at a local school for a couple of weeks, which was pretty fun. I got to see things that we as Americans hear about, but I never thought I'd actually get to see. Even in China. At ISU, you're going to be interacting with people from all over the world on a daily basis. But most people in China don't speak English. So if you learn Chinese when you're over there, it's a totally different experience. I got to communicate with people who I never would have been able to communicate with otherwise. It's actually how I got to be conversational in Chinese. I got really good at, like, if I didn't know the word for something, I could kind of describe it and people would know what I was talking about.
美国中央银行的作用就是控制。你知道所有的东西的价值都一起涨吧？
你控制的应该是通货膨胀。
是的，美国中央银行的作用就是控制通货膨胀。美国选择
Yes, I am that boring. Now that I've graduated, I actually hope to continue studying Chinese. What we think of as Chinese is actually a whole family of related languages. The one taught at ISU is Mandarin, of course. The one that I'd want to study next is probably Cantonese. And then there's classical Chinese,
which has been kind of the written standard through most of Chinese history. It's remained semi-stable for thousands of years.
There's also Wenzhounese, which I've heard is supposed to be particularly evil. I feel like it's given me more perspective on language and nationality. I feel like I have more empathy since I have some idea of what it's like to live in a foreign country and have to go through the process of learning a foreign language. I also feel like it helped me through college. It's certainly the most interesting thing that I've done for the past few years. Much needed break from the monotony of learning data structures. So that's been my experience studying Chinese at Iowa State University. So if you need foreign language credits, or even if you're just interested in studying a foreign language, go ahead and sign up for Chinese 101 this semester. It's not something that you're gonna regret. And it's kind of interesting, like, you see all these paintings of this really ridiculous looking geography, and you just think these guys were so full of crap. And then you go to China and realize that actually they're not too far off. There's a lot of really stark geography in China.